From our previous interview, Shane, we had one video that had a lot of comments that we were hoping to run by you and maybe get some clarification on. The big reason why many people will never have a career in the film industry. And so here's one comment. Sounds great in theory, but we literally can't afford to spend our time not getting paid these days, honestly. LOL. I could read another if you'd like.
Please.
Okay. You can hustle, be the, quote, Johnny on the spot, and still fall through the cracks. Starting out, I worked on a ton of projects for free, as much as I could, living at home, and later when I saved up and moved to LA. But eventually those resources run out and you have to pay rent. There's a definite class element to being able to go out and spend 2 years working for free. Nobody should work for free. Here's another one. Quick question. If you work on a movie 12 plus hours a day for a month, and you do that for a year or so for free, ... how exactly do you pay rent? Question mark. Okay, here's another one. I've been working my tail on...
Probably tail off.
That's what I was thinking.
Been
Sorry,
working their tail off.
They've been working their tail, yeah. Wax on, wax off. Sorry, okay. I've been working my tail off on crappy jobs outside the movie industry, and I cannot accept unpaid jobs inside the industry because I have to eat and live, and that costs money. I am a little confused about this attitude of Stanley. Thanks that you are supporting such a bad role model.
I'm a bad role model.
Okay.
God, I feel bad that so much of this was misconstrued, and I don't blame the viewers. And I'd first like to apologize if anything was misunderstood. I'm not telling you to sell your soul, work for free, live on the streets, and not pay rent. Let me clarify a few things with that. Because I encourage you to get out there and work and hustle and do what you have to do to get on a set. A lot of the sets that you're going to get on cannot afford you anyway, and they are already filled. And what my point was, it doesn't mean you go work 75 hours a week for free, 6 days a week on a film. It means you make yourself available to a producer or a filmmaker and say, look, I have a job. I need to get time on a set. Can I put in 2 days a week? I'm off Saturday and Tuesdays. I'm off the weekend. I'm off at night. And get yourself involved and in the loop of people that are doing what you ultimately want to do. I'm not saying that you've got to go, live in your car to go work for free. I personally worked for free a lot, but I also had other jobs. Just because I had a father in the industry, trust me, it didn't help me in a way that a lot of people think it might have. When I decided that I wanted to make a living in film, the only thing my father gave me was his Rolodex. He said, great, there you go. You know some of the people in there, make some calls. I worked for hundreds of different people before he hired me full time. I wasn't until my mid-20s until I was working with my dad full time. We had a lot of success early on with his documentaries and shows that he did. We did one every 2 years. I moved out when I was 18. I didn't have my rent covered. I was out hustling. I held odd jobs. I sold cars. I worked at restaurants. I waited tables. I bussed tables. I detailed cars. I mowed lawns. I painted houses. I did construction. I still found a way to get on a set every week and put in my time to make new contacts. So what I'm trying to encourage you guys to understand is it's not going to come to you. You have to make sacrifices. I am not asking you to whore yourself out and work for free for everybody all the time. To start to get a track record as a reliable resource on a set, it's like interning. We have a lot of interns that come and go on our shows from film school that work on our productions. We get them when we can. They get credit. Some of our greatest regular crew members that we pay are from interns from college that came in and worked for 2 or 3 days a week, if we were lucky, during a production from 4 years ago. It's just to encourage everybody to understand it's not coming to you. If it's not coming to you, how are you going to get something? If you want to get to an island, it ain't coming to you. You either swim or take a boat. If you don't have money for a boat, you don't have the resources for a boat, get in the water, start swimming. That's all I'm trying to say. It's to encourage you guys to understand that's what I had to do. I brought up a friend of mine whose father had 2 Oscars. His mother had, I think, 5 or 7 Emmys. When he pulled his head out of his ass and decided he wanted to work in the film industry, he told his parents his plan, assuming they would get him work. They said, great. Dad picked up the phone, and I think he called Deluxe, which was an old film color house back in the day. My friend was sweeping floors there for 2 years before they let him sit behind an edit bay. That was the job he got. The first year he was there 2 or 3 hours a day and he wasn't paid. That's just how it was back in our day. If I offend people of today's generation because we actually worked for free and earned our stripes by busting ass and bringing our own lunch, sorry you were offended. But that's how we did it. We still have people that want to intern, that show up. We still have great people that come in and say, look, I'd like to give you a day on the set. I want to show you what I'm about. Because we're not looking for the help. We have the people that are on the team. So it's about people coming to us and saying, I want to show you what I can do for you. Of course, we're going to feed you. We'll water you. Come on out for a few hours. Show us what you got. So when we make our next film, we know to call you. And there's a lot of filmmakers that are willing to do that. I used to call everybody I knew in that Rolodex, and I called them, and we didn't have text and email. It was phone calls. And it was, hey, Phil Hearn, it's Shane Stanley, Lee's son. Yeah, that one. Listen, I need to get on a set. Do you need somebody to be a PA, an AC, a second? What can I do to get on a set? Phil would call back sometimes and say, yeah, if you want to come work on Saturday, we're doing a show with Richard Crenna. Come on out, bring your own lunch. I'll get you on the set. You ain't getting paid. And I'd show up. I did that with Steve Elkins, Phil Hearn, did that with Ken Schaefer. I did that with Tom Coaster. I did that with Chaz Shootcat, I think, got me on a couple of shows. It's just what we did. And I hope, and I understand times have changed and all that, but my heart and my spirit of telling you what I did last time that ruffled some feathers was not sell your soul and work for free for 70 hours a week. Meet your responsibilities with your paying job, but we all don't work 70 hours a week for a paying job. So you find the time to get on a set, even if it's 3 hours a day, and show people what you got and be around people that are doing what you love so they know that they can call and rely on you. That was the sole purpose of that.
Why do you think younger generations have reacted stronger than maybe previous ones? Is it because a lot of interns have been taken advantage of?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you work with interns, you can't replace interns. You can't replace employees with interns. And I think ever since the big Black Swan lawsuit, that changed the dynamics. We work very closely with a lot of amazing schools. The LACC, LAVC. We're working with College of the Desert this year out in Palm Springs and Pierce College. And the rules are simple: is give the kids the opportunity, let them shadow, and our guys on our crew are so amazing with them because they've been fortunate in their upbringing. And they understand what hard work is. They don't let the kids sit around. They're like, hey, grab an end of that. Come on, let me show you how to clean a lens. I mean, we had interns literally doing second AC duties for a film when we had a second second AC. And to watch these kids learn how to pick up these $60,000 or $70,000 lenses and clean them and prep them and put them on the cameras, they're not learning that in the classroom. And I guarantee you they're not learning that during a pandemic. So we're really big about interns coming out and learning various jobs on the set. We try to move them to sound, to camera, to AD, UPM. They come shadow me for a day. They can learn everything what not to do. Go into hair and makeup and learn how that is. Go learn wardrobe and how we tag everything for the days and the scenes and how sometimes wardrobe's used for half of the day. It's put away. We use it for an hour, something else, and then we go back to that and just the way the schedule is and how we shoot. They don't learn these things in a classroom. And, they're paying for an education that they get in a class. And so when they're able to come on a set with filmmakers that are willing to open their doors and their hearts to say, come learn, and that's the spirit of what I try to encourage.